Hey folks, this is Vent with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Hunt the Unknown Quarry. This is a game that you can find on Steam for about 15 bucks. This is a digital adaptation of a tabletop game, one that I admittedly do not own. If you own the full version of this game, then anyone with the free version can join the games that you create. So for example, I own the full game. I received the press key for it. So any one of my friends can download the game for free without paying for it and play the games that I create. But if they want to play against bots or want to host their own game, then they have to buy the game as well. So what is this? Well, it's one of those hidden identity games where one player is the monster and the other players are hunters, but no one knows who is who. It's up to you to figure out who the monster is, what kind of monster they are, and then do enough damage to them in order to kill them. And the amount of damage you have to do will depend on the number of people playing. So for example, if there's a total of 3 people playing, then the hunters need to inflict 3 wounds on the monster in order to kill him. But there's a lot of hidden information in this game. In fact, the hunters aren't going to be working together. A lot of times, one hunter may be given information that another hunter won't know, and no one's going to want to share information with anybody. So the winner of this game is the person that deals the killing blow to the monster. Even though the hunters are kind of collectively trying to gang up on this monster that they're trying to figure out who that is, again, there's only one clear winner in this, so even the hunters are in competition with each other. And I gotta say, the learning curve in this is relatively high. Because there's so much hidden information, it's not like I can go out of my way during a game to explain what's going on, or why things are happening, or why I turned this information down, or why I spend energy to do this. It's like all players need to know how to play this going into it, unless they don't care about the hidden information aspect for the first couple of games. So I just want to warn you folks that if you do buy into this game, be warned that the first couple of games to play properly, it's going to be brutal. It's going to be a game where players need to know what's going on, why things are happening, because if someone's a hunter and they don't know how to fully play the game and something happens, then they're not going to, well, why did this player turn down the ability? Like, I played this card, why did the person I attacked, how come they turned it down? Did I actually hit them or didn't I? So there's a lot of hidden information in this game, and I want to warn you, the first couple of games that you play may not make sense right away. But if you stick through it, I'll say that this game is quite cool. So as the monster, again, you don't want to let other people know that you're the monster, but you receive 2 monster cards. And these are traits like bite or magic, or I don't know what other cards there are. But there are several monster types in the game. So whatever 2 monster abilities you start off with will define what monster type you are. And that is important, because certain weapons in the game only affect certain monsters. For example, a knife that someone picks up, and if someone attacks you with it, it may not affect you because the knife only affects this monster type and this monster type. But if you're not that monster type, the knife will have no effect on you. And what's worse, you don't actually announce when you take wounds in this game. So the player attacking you has no idea if they're actually doing any damage to you at all. And that's where the clue, hidden information aspect comes into play. The hunters will be wandering around, being able to pick up cards in various rooms, and there's even monster cards scattered around too. So if you find monster cards, you can sort of deduce, okay, the monster that I'm fighting against right now doesn't have this, so that eliminates this monster type, and this monster type. Or if I play a card that reveals a card in their hand, let's say I play a card onto someone and I roll the die, and there's a lot of dice rolling in this game. I roll a die and the effect pops up. It goes, the opponent must reveal a card in their hand. And if they reveal a monster card, then I know that they're the monster. Or if the effect doesn't work on them at all, and I'm like, well, how did they not? How come they're not responding to my attack? That means that it's not working on them because the card that I'm playing is not one of the monster types listed. So that tells me, oh, they're the monster, but they're not one of these monster types. So I can eliminate, okay, the warlock isn't. They're not the warlock. They're not the gorgon. They're not the vampire. And you're sort of marking this information off on this clue-like grid, this clue sheet. And again, it's not a game where you want to share this information with other players either, because you're all competing to destroy this monster. Now, the humans in this game can take wounds as well. In fact, that's the monster's goal. They're trying to do 3 wounds to each of the humans in the game in order to win. Again, though, the monster will typically not know if their attack got through. In most cases, they'll know because the humans are sort of vulnerable to every type of attack, whereas the monster can be immune to certain card effects. So the monster will have an easier time tracking damage across all the different humans than the reverse. So I found it easier for me to play as the monster. I played 3 games. I was the monster twice, and the humans, I was a human once. And I lost as the human. I figured out who the monster was and what type they were, but I couldn't find the cards in the environment that would do damage specifically against that monster. And by the time the monster caught up to me, I was the last one remaining, apparently. He killed me before I could actually pick up weapons to kill him. So I got sort of halfway there, but I couldn't complete the kill. But again, wounds are not openly tracked in this game, so you can only guess, okay, this player is probably out because they've been battling. These 2 people have been battling for a while. One of them's probably the monster. And this person's walking away now, so maybe the victim has enough wounds, and now the monster's trying to move on to someone else. There's a lot of, again, guessing in this game. You don't know what's going on. You don't know who the monster is, and you're trying to quickly find that information out. Now, there are some things to help you out. Each player has energy that they can spend. Energy can be used to take an additional action. Each player gets 4 action points every turn. They can spend an energy to take another action. They can spend an energy to modify a die roll by -1 or +1. And that's important because certain cards might say, on a 2 or 3, the opponent has to spend energy or take a wound. On a 4 through 6, show any card. And certain card effects, by the way, certain dice effects, will not affect the monster, only humans. So, again, there's a lot going on in this. And bottom line is, it's overwhelming. So expect to spend the first couple of times failing and learning the ropes. And then when you finally get the hang of it, I think that's when the game truly shines. And for that, I do recommend it. It's actually quite fun. I can't wait to play this with some of the people that I know. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I'm going to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.